Hey everybody, I'm doing a different type of video this week, and before you guys say that I hate Kingdom Hearts 2, I don't. I love this game and the series. My channel right now is challenge videos for Kingdom Hearts, but there are some sections of the second game that I absolutely hate. This video isn't meant to be a critique or anything like that. It's just me sharing my opinions on the internet and seeing if other people agree with me. So what are worst bits? It means exactly what it sounds like, the worst sections of the game, to me. These are all parts that I dislike and think the world would be better off if they weren't in the game. I think KH2 is my favorite game in the series, but I know it's definitely the game that I feel the most comfortable with in the series, as it's the game that I've beaten the most. That being said, there are still some parts of the game that I don't like. So before I even start the list, I should mention the Roxas tutorial, as I think a lot of people will wonder why I didn't mention this if this is a worst bits video. I actually really liked the Roxas tutorial in Twilight Town, and was very into the story of Roxas going to the beach with his friends in Twilight Town. I really didn't care about playing as Sora like a bunch of people for a few reasons. The main reason being Kingdom Hearts 1 is a hard game. I always got lost or didn't know where to go, so I actually beat Kingdom Hearts 2 before I beat Kingdom Hearts 1. So I was fully aboard the Roxas train and enjoying the story of Roxas with Hayner, Pence, and Olette. In fact, the only reason I knew that this was a Kingdom Hearts game was because Sora was in Roxas's dreams. Well, that and the title screen. The second reason that I didn't care that we weren't playing as Sora was because it was a Square Enix game. I knew that in Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, and 10 there were different main characters, so I thought Kingdom Hearts was the same, and I wasn't lucky enough to play the Game Boy Advance Chain of Memories game to know that Sora was playable in that game, so I thought switching characters was normal. And I would argue that I was right when I was a kid. As a Square Enix game series, we don't play as Sora in Birth by Sleep, 358, or Coded. Coded is Data Sora, not Sora. I think there's even a good argument to be made as well that we don't even play as Sora in DDD, as that's a dream world manifestation of Sora we are playing as, not the real life Sora. But I really don't want to get into the lore of Kingdom Hearts in this video. Even the abomination that is Unchained Key and Dark Road doesn't let us play as Sora. May those games not rest in peace. But the main idea is that I'm very happy to play as Roxas. So much so that I hated playing as Sora throughout the entirety of Kingdom Hearts 2 because I really wanted to switch back from Sora to Roxas and see if Roxas would in fact reunite with Hayner, Pence, and Olette and go to the beach. When I'm replaying the game now, I still feel like the tutorial for Roxas should be longer, but we should have a Birth by Sleep type option to skip it, but I'm sure that I'm in the minority there. Replaying the Roxas section of the game now to me is just relaxing, and the Roxas Axel fight is my favorite in the series, so I'm totally fine with it. With that out of the way, for why I think the Roxas tutorial is not a worst bit, we can actually start the video for my worst bits. Land of Dragons. The search mission in Land of Dragons is just a boring mission to me. I'm never sure exactly where I have to go to make the Heartless appear to actually clear the mission, or if there is a hidden timer that only releases the wizards at a certain point when I have lost my morale gauge or killed some enemies. And while I'm at it, the morale gauge is so precise that at least once per playthrough, I'll either fail or be near failing the mission. There is nothing that I can do here. I just hate being so close to the end and potentially having to redo the mission, as I always feel this mission is luck-based. Like when I get to Mulan's world, I do this mission first because I'll have just finished the gummy ship sections and want to do the boring parts of the game and get rid of this, so I can actually enjoy the game. Disney Castle. The two sections of the level where we have to protect Minnie are parts that I just dislike. Instead of doing regular button mashing, we are now button mashing and guiding Minnie. These two sections aren't hard, and it's a nice gameplay diversion, but it's just so slow for me. Whenever I'm replaying the game and I'm approaching this level, I immediately know that a long boring part is coming. So usually if I'm going to end a game session, I make it a point to finish the mini part of Disney Castle, so when I boot up the game again, I don't have to deal with the tediousness of Minnie. I like that Minnie gets to play with us, but why doesn't Minnie just follow us like Donald and Goofy? I mean, we can just run through the entire area and she'll be good. I shouldn't have to clear the area in front of her in order for Minnie to use her legs to move forward. People hate on Ashley in Resident Evil 4 for not being able to climb down a ladder and being useless in general, but she can at least follow Leon. Minnie can't do this. Sure, Minnie is the queen of Disney Castle, but Ashley is the US president's daughter. I'd say both of them aren't privileged enough that they've forgotten how to use their feet though. Sora running up a few meters and then waving and saying, "This way," isn't enough. It's just very tedious.
This way. Let's go. Nice.
Using the faith command to hear Minnie repeat "light" 30 times just eats away at my heart each time that I'm willing to kick her into the Heartless to see if she'll use the faith command on her own, move her feet and run in any direction, or just die. Port Royale. Another section of this game that I dislike is the ship/medallion fight. I feel absolutely powerless in it, and I swear that this is on a timer, as it just wastes time. If you kill all of the pirates, it's still going to be a wait for the game to say that you're done. If you focus on firing the cannons back at the other pirate ship in hopes that it does something, nothing happens. Sure, the circles on the ground that indicate cannonballs don't show up, but all you have to do to avoid those circles on the ground is stand in a corner, so there is no point in using the cannons. I'm glad that I did my no attack challenge for KH2 because I specifically had to do this bit of the level without being able to use the attack command. And though I did kill a few of the pirates with magic, it wasn't anywhere near to the kill count that I usually get, so this part of the game is just waiting. I mean, I don't actively hate arbitrary waiting in games, but I'd rather a timer just to know it's not RNG that's wasting my time. Pride Lands. The last one on my list is when we have to catch the hyenas. You guys are probably seeing a theme here. Just like with the others on this list, catching the hyenas to me just feels like a waste of time. They are always running just a bit slower than Sora, so you'll catch up to them eventually. When you do catch up to them, you are able to get in some hits, and then they will do an aerial recovery and run away. And then you'll have to repeat the whole chase again. And of course we have to do this for 3 of the hyenas. Fighting the 3 of them in the first visit to Pride Lands is fun, since they aren't running away, or at least they are in an enclosed area, but the second visit is just so slow. If I wanted to play a game where I'm just chasing after people, I'd play Need for Speed or a racing game. However, there is one saving grace for this part of the level. This takes place in the second visit to Pride Lands, therefore it's optional, so you don't even have to engage with the hyenas, which is a shame because I actually like the final boss fight of this world. Maybe it's because fighting it feels like it belongs in Shadow of the Colossus, but I like going up against bosses that in real life there would be no way of winning. Like, who do you guys think would win? A 3-man team consisting of a turtle with a shield on its shell, a bird with a staff in its claws and a lion cub with a stick in its mouth, or a giant mountain beast that eats a small village as an after-dinner snack? I'm going with the giant mountain beast. This isn't a David and Goliath situation. This is a Goliath and an ant situation. So I'm giving up this glorious fight against Goliath because of some stupid hyenas that just laugh randomly. Moreover, the hyena fight is easy. You usually won't die when they use aerial recovery in the air to get out of your combo. So if you're playing on critical, you won't mind since you can just wait in a corner for MP to recharge to heal if you run out of potions, which you won't. And that's my list. Those are the worst bits of Kingdom Hearts 2 for me. Again, I wouldn't say that I hate any of these areas, but I do think they are all a waste of time. And in the case of the Port Royale section, I think there is a secret timer. Do you guys agree or disagree with me? What are some of your worst bits in this game? Doesn't have to be terrible to play through, just boring or slow. Just parts of the game that you dislike going through again, or have disliked playing. I understand if you guys still think the Roxas prologue is boring and slow, as I think it's boring and slow as well, but I don't hate it solely because of the first time that I played the game I didn't see it as a problem, and my nostalgia goggles are on pretty tight. I would rather we just get the option to skip this part. And I was going to put Atlantica on this list, and it was a huge contender as I didn't like rhythm games when I was smaller, but since Melody of Memories exists, I'll give it a pass. And Atlantica in this game is super optional as we don't have to engage with it. The developers even put in an optional gummy ship path, so I feel like it's unfair to hate on Atlantica. So that's all I've got today for you guys. Comment down below telling me what parts you guys dislike about Kingdom Hearts 2. I'd like to hear what you have to say. Thank you for watching.
See you soon.